Welcome back to the Broncast. I am here with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Matt from Matt's Garage. Today, it's very special. We're at the Tom's Off-Road Rock and Roll event just outside Medford, Oregon at Mount Ashland at the Lodge. And we just had our kind of finale event. Matt and I in 2015?
Yeah, 2016,
started our YouTube channels working on our Broncos.
That's right.
At the same time. We have 50 subscribers, you know.
It was like Hot Shots Part 2. I loved you in Wall Street.
I loved you in Wall Street.
We became instant friends, you know, just from that. And then Matt came down and you were in Tennessee for something, you came to Nashville, and you helped me install my body lift.
Oh, that's right, yeah. That was the first collab video, back when collabing wasn't a thing.
Yeah. And it was so fun. And I mean, we just hit it off, had a great time.
You came over when I was unveiling my terrible EFI idea on the last Bronco.
Yeah, so I've been watching this. I've been watching this build. You know that I'm working on a restoration that
very well aware.
I started before you.
Yes.
And am halfway done.
You know, I tell people to get one of these done, you have to attack it aggressively, weekends and nights for years.
So what is this?
Okay, it's a 1966 that I found between two containers in Woodinville, Washington. Been sitting there for at least a decade, maybe two.
Wow.
The guy had tried to do a Ford Explorer swap in it, ran out of steam, ran out of money, wasn't connected to anything, it was just sitting in there, and he wasn't selling it. But I managed to convince him, and I was honest, I will make this thing good and make sure it's got a good home. He sold it to me. It was in January of 22, and it started a 2-year odyssey to this build. Stock lift, it's got a 1-inch body lift just to clear my fuel tank connection.
Tire size?
3950/15 pizza cutters on stock rims, stock hubcaps. My goal was for somebody who wasn't like a Bronco expert to look at it and go, that's totally original. But a true connoisseur will know it doesn't have the eyebrow grill because it had been hit and the grill had been changed out. I put in the chrome trimmer on the windshield, stuff like that, you know. But it was already not original, so I didn't feel bad taking some liberties with it.
Well, let's pop the hood. Let's look under the hood.
I put a lot of effort. I wanted to be, I'm very proud of this engine bay actually, because I bodyworked the fenders. I wanted everything clean. I tucked everything up high, and I wanted it to look very professional, but still somehow evoke originality. Obviously it's not, because the stock engine bays were not clean. But when you look at this, it looks classic and not overdone in my opinion. It's a 302 out of a Lincoln Mark 7 that I pulled in the rain in the Columbia River Gorge, and it's got an AX15 transmission, 5-speed transmission to the Dana 20. You know, I'm using the Tom's dual setup with the washer fluid and the radiator fluid, the Tom's power booster, and I've got a power steering as well. Originally had an electric fan on it. It was too loud for me, so I switched it back to mechanical. You know, Edelbrock carb, nothing crazy, 500 CFM.
Carb guy.
Bronco, well, I might go, I set it up for EFI. I've got a regulator there and an in-tank pump. I want to do that so that I could easily switch back and forth. So it's got a carb regulator, but just to change it, and I've already got the wiring for a sniper or anything else. So I'll literally just pop it off, change the regulator to high pressure, and then connect 2 wires and I'd be done. I've got the hood struts with the brace. These are great. Highly recommend that upgrade to anybody. And the Tom's aluminum radiator. Lots of Tom's stuff under here. The battery hold down, this stuff, all of this. So I'm very happy with it.
Body working the inner fenders and like, it really does clean it up nice. Even though you did quote unquote new, you reused a lot of parts.
I reused everything I could, but you know, it was a 6-cylinder. So like, it didn't have a belt crank for the accelerator. I couldn't reuse it. It had a torn up windshield wiper bag. The Z-bar, I just cut it up, the 6-cylinder one, and cut it up and turned it into an 8-cylinder. I tried to reuse whatever I could, especially like almost all the sheet metal is stock, except for the floors, which were rotted out. I even tried to keep the original seats.
Let's take a look. So inside, 66. You didn't keep the 66 dash knobs. You went with the newer ones.
They were pretty beat up, so I went with the new ones. I did keep some of the stuff that was there. Like there was a hole for the fuel tank selector.
Oh yeah.
And I just kept it. Doesn't do anything.
Even though
it had dual tanks, but that system was, now I don't need it anymore. I just bought won a
You
big
won.
Yeah,
He
at
won
the raffle.
At the raffle, the
23-gallon stainless EFI tank score.
yeah,
I'm so stoked.
that is a score.
The gauges, I bought these off of eBay. Some guy had already done the voltmeter conversion from the ammeter.
Oh, nice.
So it worked. It needed a new, I saw your video on the regulator thing, the voltage regulator. I just swapped that out, works great. It looks stockish, but obviously it's got a USB port and the 5-speed shifter gives it away. I had the stock seats in here. I recovered them, refoamed them. You know how hard that is.
So hard.
Not worth it.
Not worth it.
Yeah, because driving down here, I was up here with my face in the windshield wiper motor.
And your lower back
I just kept sliding forward and sliding back. And then Walt, Tom's son, runs it now with his brother. I saw a seat and I'm like, can I sit in your truck? And I did, and I just felt like I was in a different vehicle. Yeah. So I, at the open house, I just bought a whole set.
I love it. I mean, this is what you do at a Bronco event. Like, you show up, you like pile it all in.
Plus, like, there's the energy. You're getting ideas from seeing other people's rigs,
Totally.
No, but seriously, it's like, you're like, oh, I never thought of that.
Which is so interesting. Like, Matt just finished his restoration.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done.
And now it's like, oh, I should do this, I should do this. Yeah. But also, like, this is kind of your shakedown, right?
It is a shake, and I've discovered quite a few things I need to work out.
How long ago was this just in pieces in your garage?
I think 13 or 14 months ago, it was just a sandblasted body and chassis. I spent the first year doing the chassis and the drivetrain, and the second year doing the body, and the last few months doing assembly and interior.
Yeah, we talked about it at the beginning, but Matt has a YouTube channel and you've documented the whole process.
Basically, yeah.
And like, what I like about what Matt does is he'll just go out in the garage and be like, okay, I'm doing this today. And then you just talk through it where I'm like, oh yeah, okay. Like, I understand what you're doing. I understand, like, I feel like mine are very like step 1, step 2, step 3.
But they're so useful.
But well, yeah, but like, I like yours because it's like, I get your thought process in the process.
Right.
For me, it's like, if I run into something, I'm like, okay, end tape and let's figure this out.
Yeah, I kind of try to leave it in. I do, a lot, you know how it is. A lot ends up on the cutting room floor. It's progressive elaboration, right? You don't know what you don't know. You have this great idea, and like you and a lot of these guys, you overthink everything, but then when you get into it, the plan changes because you're like, that's not going to work. You got to figure something else out. Yeah. And there was a lot of that with this. Using stock parts makes everything a whole lot easier. Like, I knew the doors were going to fit. Yeah. Yeah. I didn't have to, it was great.
Right. So. And even with that, so we were talking earlier, we just did a podcast episode where Donnie went through his entire budget and he spent $68,000 on parts, on, just all the pieces to it.
Sure.
Will you share your budget number?
I will. I paid $15 for it. That's what I paid to buy it.
Yeah.
And then somewhere, and I had some scout costs in there, so I have to parse it out perfectly, but somewhere in the realm of 40 to 41,000. What? Is that high or low?
That's so low.
Oh, that's a lot of money, man.
Man,
that's an average salary in the U.S.
Yeah, the Broncos are expensive. Yeah, but comparatively, I'm on track to beat Donnie's price.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I didn't reuse hardly any. I think I reused the radius.
Right. I use the same axle, suspension. Most of that money was in things like upholstery, things like buying the motor, the AX15 and the AX15 conversion. Yeah. And then paint is insanely expensive. I spent thousands on paint supply, sandpaper. I painted this myself in the garage, did all the body work myself. And it's actually halfway decent. It's got a lot of flaws. I know every imperfection. But when you look at it from a distance, it looks good.
It looks great. I love the color. I love the red and white scheme.
Thanks.
I've seen a few do the red and white scheme that I don't really like, and I really like how you did this. I love the hubcaps.
And actually, even with the hubcaps off with the Wimbledon, or it's kind of more like an off-white stock wheel, it still looks good.
Yeah.
With or without it.
What's the favorite thing that you did? You're like the most proud
Definitely the engine bay. We talked about that a little bit. When I finished that engine bay, I was like, I did a good job.
Yeah.
Like with the seats, good. You know how it is, like you get a little tear, it's not quite, there's like pleats or folds and you're like,
it doesn't sit, the cushion doesn't sit right inside.
With the engine bay, I was like, nailed it.
Should I drive this?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a clutch issue, so just keep
We'll
that
take
in
it
mind.
easy.
No,
Yeah.
you can romp on it. Just know it's not normal.
All
It's
right.
gonna get fixed.
Let's switch seats. Let's do it.
All right, cool.
Man, I love this. Like, this is, I know the resto mod thing is cool. I have a lifted Bronco. I get it. But this,
Yeah.
there is something to just like,
You're not just putting on a show.
no,
Okay.
like I feel like I am back in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. It
Like,
transports you in time,
yes.
and that's exactly the vibe I was going for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it, and even we talked about not the 66 knobs, but
Yeah.
like it's still like it really does have such a classic feel,
Yeah.
and just I love the feel of it. Like it's smooth. It like you said stock lift, right?
Stock lift, no
lift.
nothing. Just 1 inch puck, body puck. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Just to clear stuff.
There's gravel up there, so I won't go.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it can handle it, but
Well, don't want to rock
yeah.
kicking out.
I also have no fuel.
Oh, yeah. Man, this is great.
Oh, I'm glad
I
you like it.
really appreciate you letting me drive
Of
this.
course, anytime. I wish we could go for a longer
It
drive.
I mean, honestly, like it feels so classy.
Nice.
I know that's a cheesy word, but it really does. It's
Very
like
classy.
it's a classy Bronco feel.
That's
man.
what I was going for.
Yeah,
You're speaking my language, man. I
I
appreciate
like it. I like it.
Yeah. Like, you feel that? I need to get a better valved rear shock.
Oh
You know?
yeah, I could feel
Because the
that.
66 has the eye and the bolt, the stud.
Yep.
So I use the front shock, but it's too stiff, right? Because there's a motor in the front.
Yeah.
Anyway, what? It's always an improvement here and there.
There's always something else you can
That's
do.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the joy of it. Even when you finish a restoration,
Yeah.
there's still more to do.
One of my goals was, let's get it done, see what I like, see what I don't like. Don't try to overthink it going in. Right?
Yeah.
There's no cheaper way to do it than to reuse everything you can and then upgrade later. And then you can sell the stuff you don't use.
Yeah.
I
mean, engine feels good, sounds good. Like
Thanks,
it fits. Like I feel like it all just kind of fits. Like
Great.
you did a good job of making it fit, making
Thanks,
it feel
man.
good. Yeah. This is great.
Cool.
Well, man, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jon.
Thanks for being on
It's
the
always great to
podcast.
see you, brother.
And thanks for letting me drive your Bronco.
Anytime. Anytime.
All right, we'll see you guys on the next one.